That's right, everybody. We're back. Screen Preach is back. Holidays are over. I came back and I did it again. I know that I was actually here last week, but I didn't get around to it. It was still a holiday week because of New Year's, you know. So now we're back. Holidays done, and yeah, it's been a little bit crazy, you know, trying to get back into the groove of things. But we're here and we're back. And yeah, let's real quick. A lot of stuff happened while I was away, clearly. You know, The Mandalorian came to an end with a crazy season finale. All kinds of shit went down. Star Wars announced a whole bunch of stuff. Marvel announced a whole bunch of stuff, which we'll get into. There was a lot of news. I got a bunch of news, and when I go through it, I'll go through it rather quickly as I can, because I do want to talk about, of course, I mean, first week back, I'm doing Tenet. I'm doing Tenet. You know I'm doing Tenet. It's Tenet time. I went and I saw it. If you follow Screen Preach on Instagram, you know that I saw it in a movie theater. And when I went home and I saw it in a movie theater, that was amazing. It was great to actually go to a movie theater and see a movie in a movie theater. Oh my God. New York, thank you for at least having them somewhat open. California, get your shit together. California, though, they're fucking spiking out here. Apparently. Apparently, they are. Apparently. I just can't know what numbers are accurate. I don't know. Whatever. Not getting into that. So yeah, Happy New Year, too. It's 2021 now, and yeah, it's not like it's going to feel any different. How can we even have resolutions this year when 2020 and all the problems from it kind of just rolled into 2021 and everything kind of feels the same? It's like a bad movie that won't end or something. Soon. It's got to be soon. Seriously. Because this is just ridiculous now. Movie theaters need to open, especially for Marvel's sake. Marvel has a crazy year here. Next week, January 15th, WandaVision, the first Marvel show on Disney Plus to kick off the next saga. It's finally here, and once WandaVision starts us up to kick everything off, Marvel don't stop this year. And quite frankly, they don't stop for a while, because it seems like project after project's just going to keep coming for us, which is just amazing. If the quality remains, it's going to be amazing. Literally, WandaVision ends, and a couple weeks after it ends, Falcon and Winter Soldier starts. A couple weeks after Falcon and Winter Soldier ends, Loki starts. Black Widow's supposed to come out in the movie theater. You got Hawkeye, you got Miss Marvel, you got Shang-Chi, you got, like, this year alone, I think there's 10 projects for Marvel this year. Supposed to be, assuming things actually open up and they don't have to delay again. Plenty to look forward to. Plenty to look forward to. What else? Yeah, while I was away, I did a Marvel marathon for Christmas. When I was chilling, I did Marvel. Always do that at Christmas. That was the big one. You know, before we left, I talked about holiday marathons, and that was our episode. Yeah, so it's always it always bums me out when the year ends, because it's kind of just chill. Like, you're with family and you can just kind of not worry about things a little bit, and you just kind of whatever. It's nice and relaxing, and then it's got to end. But it's been good since I've been back too, though. I'm on a fucking grind here. We're in a zone. There's no problems. You just gotta work a lot to survive. Yeah. But we're back, right? You hear about this shit? There's all kinds of shit going on. We got this Capitol shit. First of all, let's not even get into it. I won't even talk about the storming of the fucking... I'm not even gonna go political. But this other thing that happened with emotional support animals and shit, like on planes, now I gotta figure that out next time I visit back home, what I'm gonna do with the dog, because I just can't put her under the plane. It's cruel to put an animal under a plane. in my opinion. It should be illegal. Not to mention, I know it's rare, but we hear stories here and there every now and then about a dog dying on a plane. I don't want it to be mine, okay? Yeah. So, I gotta figure that out. What else? What else have we been watching? Anything to watch? A lot of movies actually have been coming out. A couple in theaters too, but also a bunch on streaming that I will get to. Like, I have a list here, so we're gonna talk in the coming weeks. We got a lot of fun stuff, a lot of movies to talk about. I will also might want to change things up a little bit soon, and kind of maybe talk about a TV show and a movie. So each episode will be about a movie and a TV show centered on, because like things come out and I want to talk about them, but I spend the whole episode talking about one movie and then a couple other things, but I don't really. It's fine. I might not do that because I always talk about what I'm watching in the beginning, and I'll go and I'll break it down. Like, for instance, right now, spoilers ahead, because I just gotta real quick with Mandalorian season 2. Ahsoka Tano, live action. Holy shit. Boba Fett returns. Holy shit. And Luke Skywalker is there to rescue you. I'm Luke Skywalker and I'm here to rescue you. Literally. Came in, and in the finale, fucking clearly more powerful than we've ever seen him. Like, even more a Jedi, like, master. He's becoming a Jedi master at this point in the timeline. He takes baby Grogu away to train him. It's fucking beautiful stuff, okay? By the way, Grogu. That's the name. That was the big thing, too. He's got a name. It's not Baby Yoda. Yeah, that was a great season. Honestly, it's hard some people, like, it's hard to pick. What was the better season? Like, season 1 or season 2 right now? Like, what was it? I think season 2. I mean, Bo-Katan. Like, it's just, like, getting awesome. It's really cool. For a lot of fans of Star Wars, it's hard to even handle this. Like, they don't want anything past the movies. Fine. If that's what kind of Star Wars fan you are, fine. Then just don't watch this stuff, but don't complain either. Don't ruin it for the people who enjoy it. The real, in my opinion, true Star Wars fans are willing to embrace any kind of expansion of the universe, because it's so vast. It's like Marvel in that sense. It's a vast universe of storytelling and possibilities. Why limit yourself? Why? It's not like George Lucas isn't involved. He's involved. He's always involved in some way. So this still comes back to him and his protege Dave Filoni. It's all there, This is all his universe still, and it's even more like huge than you're limiting yourself if you're not embracing like something like The Mandalorian or reading one of the new books. The High Republic series has just started. Okay, the new books takes place 200 years before the Skywalker saga, and it's about the Jedi at their highest peak, like, power. And it sounds interesting. It looks interesting. I bought the book. I'm gonna read the book, the first book. Just why limit yourself to these things? I guess this is a good segue. I don't want to spend time because I got a lot of news here. And I just kind of want to go through as quick as I can, because otherwise I'll be here all fucking day talking about this. Yeah, like, seriously, a lot of shit. I don't even know if it's worth bringing up stuff from fucking 5 weeks ago. You know what I mean? It's like, but I'll do my best to. So first things first. Holy shit, dude! There was a lot of stuff. So, Stranger Things added more people to their cast. Stranger Things Season 4 is still coming, people. I don't know, is that this year? It's gotta be, right? I hope they didn't delay that too much. But Robert Englund joined the cast. The guy who played the original Freddy Krueger has joined Stranger Things Season 4. Interesting stuff. Kevin Feige says that WandaVision will mimic a bunch of television shows and sitcoms and things we've seen on TV. like from I Love Lucy all the way up to The Office. Like literally, like it's gonna mimic a whole kind. This should be fun to watch next week. See what they do, because it's gonna get like weird. You know, they mentioned there's like a multiverse storyline here being set up between WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and the Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man 3. There is a multiverse storyline, um, so it should be interesting. We'll talk about Spider-Man being a key one in there. Um, I don't know if I brought it up before I left or if it's in here somewhere, but Doctor Strange officially confirmed he joined the cast of the third Spider-Man. So if that tells you anything right off the bat about multiverse stuff going on. Marvel Studios reportedly making upcoming Disney Plus series the priority right now. Priority. Well, it makes sense that it would be a priority considering what the fuck's going on with theaters. But yeah, that makes sense. That doesn't surprise me. Christopher Nolan believes that his Batman movies happened before superhero films became a machine. I agree. Once Marvel kicked in, that machine, it was superhero movies are different now. They're way different now. And the pre-Marvel era was the Dark Knight trilogy, which is just a masterful trilogy. On it, it's not really even considered in the same realm sometimes as superhero, because it's just much more than that. And yeah, I agree with him. All Spider-Man movies are part of MCU, says Doctor Strange director Sam Raimi, who directed the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, is directing the next Doctor Strange. Let's just say we can expect to see things, okay? We'll get into this. If he's even saying that too, I mean, multiverse, multiple Peter Parkers in the same... I mean, this is going to get crazy. Mads Mikkelsen replaced Johnny Depp officially as Gellert Grindelwald, the villain in the Fantastic Beasts films, the Harry Potter spin-off films. Originally, Johnny Depp was the villain, and he was recast. That's not a good sign for the movie. It's never good. He's been confirmed, though. David Prowse, who played Darth Vader, the man behind the suit, not the voice, died. Rest in peace. There's a chance that Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova, who's going to be in Black Widow, who in the comics, Yelena became the next Black Widow, she is possibly... actually, I think it was confirmed. Yeah, she is in the Hawkeye series. So more, bridging of the storylines. You're going to see the way that Marvel started to bring crossover characters, like a lot more at the end of the Infinity Saga. It's going to be even more than that in this next saga. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Our potentially next Black Widow in Hawkeye. We got Bruce Banner in She-Hulk, but that makes sense, right? A bunch of stuff like that. It's just going to keep getting bigger and more expansive, which, as long as the quality remains the same, it's going to be amazing. It really is. Peter Dinklage set to star in Toxic Avenger reboot. Cool. Universal plots a Van Helsing movie with James Wan and Overlord filmmaker. James Wan is looking to be the guy they want to oversee all these monster movies they're coming out with. He's supposed to direct one, but he's also producing a few of the other ones, including this one. Van Helsing. Van Helsing. Last time we had a Van Helsing movie was when Hugh Jackman played him. That was like 15 years ago now. Holy shit. No Zoom for the Oscars this year. The Academy says in-person telecasts will happen. Okay. And expect a lot of streaming movies to be the ones. I'm driving around. I do Postmates. I drive around. I see all the for-your consideration posters everywhere. They're all streaming movies this year. And it makes sense. What else we got? Hawkeye series at Disney Plus adds 6 to cast. Like I said, they have officially confirmed Florence Pugh. And they added Vera Farmiga to the cast as well. I wonder who she's playing. Warner Brothers to debut entire 2021 film slate, including Dune, Matrix 4, everything. This was the big thing while I was away. Warner Brothers. They decided, okay, Wonder Woman 1984, drop it on HBO Max and put it in theaters. And then they announced they're doing that all year this year. Every one of their movies is coming out on HBO Max and in theaters, and it has been an uproar from filmmakers and producers everywhere who are worried about losing the theater experience. We don't want that thing to die. We can't have it die. And this doesn't help. This doesn't help that. A lot more people will stay home and watch it on on HBO Max, especially with everything that's going on. It's very controversial move by them that happened. But expect, yeah, this year, assuming they don't change their minds, this is what we got. Oscar Isaac to star as Solid Snake in Sony's Metal Gear Solid. Oscar Isaac is just running up that filmography of his. He's going to be Moon Knight for Marvel. He's now going to be in this Metal Gear Solid adaptation. Sounds cool. The screenwriter of Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek film says they had so much fun with Kirk. So don't expect that has fallen through. It has not fallen through. There is going to be a Tarantino Star Trek film. When it comes, when it's expected to come out, I'm not sure, but it's cool to think about. Keep it in the back of your mind. And as the High Republic, has officially launched, they announced that they're doing things in phases, kind of like Marvel. So like a slew of releases in one year, a slew of releases in another, and they're calling it phases of the High Republic era. We'll get into what they announced in a second, because we always thought that something that's coming out, whether TV or movie, was going to have to take place in the High Republic era, and they did announce one. We got some answers. While I was away, we did get some answers for what the future of Star Wars holds. So as this multiverse in Marvel is clearly getting underway, Spider-Man kept adding things to they kept adding all kinds of big announcements, giving us the cast. Just first of all, Jamie Foxx. While I was here, I mentioned that, Electro, but from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. That villain is in this Spider-Man movie, and now they've added Alfred Molina is coming back to play Doc Ock. Remember Dr. Octopus from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is now in this Spider-Man, so you see where they're going. It's like obvious where they're going when they start announcing this shit. Expect some crazy Spider-Verse shit. They might as well call it Spider-Man Spider-Verse. They won't, because they probably want to keep that home-themed title that they got, Homecoming, Far From Home, Home Run, whatever the fuck the third one ends up being. But yeah, this is crazy stuff. George Lucas expected Disney to give him a little bit more say in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So it turns out they kind of just tried to do their own thing with the sequel trilogy. You gotta always go back to George, man. He's the guy. Him, Dave Filoni, they're the guys. You gotta consult with them, and look at what happened. I love the sequel trilogy. I do. For everything that it is and everything that it isn't. I still love it. But it falls short of other Star Wars media. It just does. Even the books. The books are better than the sequel trilogy. I'm talking about like the Legends books. Like the sequels. Like the original sequels with Luke and Leia and Han. Their story continued after Return of the Jedi is better than what they gave us in the films. It just is. The thing is, there's always a chance that they can make up for it with what they have announced. They're trying to expand, and they could now start to fill in pieces that make the sequel trilogy better. We'll see if that happens. They could fucking shit the bed with all of this stuff. But given how Mandalorian has been going, Jon Favreau has been fantastic in really spearheading a lot of this too. He's going to help oversee some of these spin-offs they got going on too. Rachel McAdams is officially returning as Christine, her character Christine from Doctor Strange in the second Doctor Strange. Chris Evans joins the ridiculously stacked cast of Adam McKay's Don't Look Up. Adam McKay, of course, directed The Big Short and Vice. He is becoming quite a dramatic filmmaker now. Always been a comedy guy. These are more like comedies too, though. He's dark comedy kind of guy. So whatever this movie ends up being, it sounds interesting, and it's got quite the cast. Alien series is in the works from Noah Hawley, Noah Hawley, the guy who did Legion on FX. Whatever. It looks like FX is doing an Alien series. I'm down. I love aliens. But the big news was there was this big Disney event, and they announced all this stuff. Okay, like they announced more Marvel stuff, like crazy. Just Pixar and Star Wars. And Star Wars is doing Ahsoka. They're doing an Ahsoka TV series, live action, Obi-Wan, with Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader. Holy shit. Rangers of the New Republic. Lando. Andor. Rogue Squadron is the next movie coming out, and it's being directed by Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. That's really interesting. Why am I trying to remember when it's right here and I can look at it? I put it on Instagram too. Look, they also at the end of Mandalorian season 2 announced another one, which was the Book of Boba Fett. So Boba Fett series 2. And then, like I said, High Republic era, The Acolyte. And we were wondering what Lena Headland's film was going to be, and it's actually not a film, it's a TV show, and she's doing that High Republic TV show. It's called The Acolyte, and I'm very interested what it's about. Like I said, it sounds like it could be about a Sith Lord or something. To have a show centered around a Sith Lord would be really, really cool, because we've never seen that before. Chris Evans is going to voice Buzz Lightyear in a new Pixar movie called Lightyear, and it's not about the toy, it's about the actual Buzz Lightyear, the man. That's an interesting concept. Sign me up for that. The biggest news from that Star Wars was, aside from Ahsoka, it's the fact that Hayden Christensen's coming back too. That's crazy. We have to assume he's not just going to be behind the Darth Vader mask the whole time, so there will be probably flashbacks. Should be interesting to see where they go. And then the big stuff in Marvel, they gave us a little more of what's coming out. A few more shows, a few more confirmed cast. Honestly, of everything that they announced, the thing I really loved was bringing the Incredible Hulk from '08 back into the fold even more by casting Tim Roth again as his old Hulk villain, Abomination. Remember Blonsky, Abomination? He's coming back in She-Hulk. So we have Tatiana Maslany is confirmed. She's playing She-Hulk. Bruce Banner will be in the show. And Mark Ruffalo. And then now Tim Roth looks like he'll be the villain. Abomination's coming back. That's really important for fans, because that Incredible Hulk movie kind of gets pushed to the wayside. But they've been slowly trying to bring it back into the fold. They brought General Ross, who's now Secretary Ross, back in Civil War and again in Infinity War. So like they're slowly bringing that. All I'm saying is we need another Hulk-centered story at some point too, with Ruffalo. I mean, that's got to happen. She-Hulk is... I'm very excited for She-Hulk. But they also announced Ironheart officially. So Riri Williams is coming to the MCU. She in the comics, she's the next Iron Man. But not Iron Man. She's Ironheart. It looks like Shuri is the most likely candidate to take over the Black Panther mantle. They announced Armor Wars, with Don Cheadle as the star. So a show about War Machine, and it looks like the show's about like what happens if Tony's tech falls into the wrong hands, with Rhodey at the center of it. Psyched about that too, of course. They announced a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. That's fun. They announced I Am Groot, a show about Groot. They announced that Captain Marvel 2 will have Miss Marvel in it and Monica Rambeau in it. And if in the comics they become super people too. Miss Marvel has her own show coming out this year. Secret Invasion they announced. That's Nick Fury's. So when we got they announced the Nick Fury show. That's the show. Secret Invasion. What it's about. I'm very interested to see what they do there. But the biggest things for Marvel, they announced another movie officially, the third Ant-Man. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is coming. They confirmed Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors, which Kang the Conqueror is most likely the next Thanos level villain. We'll see. And his debut looks to be in the Ant-Man film. And then, yes, people, it's finally happening. I can't wait for it. Fantastic Four is coming. They announced it officially. Fantastic Four is coming to the MCU, and it's being directed by the Spider-Man director. The guy who directed the two Spider-Mans in the MCU is directing the Fantastic Four movie, John Watts. My personal opinion, they're taking a younger approach to the characters, kind of like how that shitty Fantastic Four movie did. The reboot with Miles Teller and all that stuff. I'm very curious about Fantastic Four. It's the one I'm hyped for the most. It just is. If I missed anything here, you can always go and check on Instagram what all the official things were that were announced. Yeah. In the meantime, Disney... Sorry, not Disney. Game of Thrones. HBO, they announced more cast for Game of Thrones, including Emma D'Arcy and Matt Smith and Olivia Cook. So, that's cool. Jamie Alexander is set to return as Sif in Thor: Love and Thunder. Warner Bros.' decision to stream new films sets off a firestorm in the movie industry, as I mentioned. Yeah, a lot of news. See, I couldn't even go through it quickly. The original actor who played Boba Fett died as well, Jeremy Bulloch. Rest in peace to him. Ming-Na Wen has been confirmed that her character from Mandalorian, Fennec Shand, will be in the Bad Batch animated series. She'll voice the character in that show. Tom Cruise berates film crew for breaking COVID-19 protocols. Yeah, that was a little quick. That was on the radar for like 2 seconds. And Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal, who plays Mando, he hopes that his character might show up in other shows, like as a cameo guy. That would be cool too. Have this like interconnected thing. I don't think it's a bad idea. Star Wars is similar to Marvel in that way. Do the interconnected. It works. It doesn't not work. Look at what happened this season with The Mandalorian. We brought in characters from the Clone Wars animated series. We brought in characters from the movies. It works. If it's done gracefully, it works. Christopher Nolan is interested in adapting his films into video games. Imagine an Inception video game. David Gordon Green tapped to direct the Exorcist sequel from Blumhouse. That works. He did the Halloween movie. He's doing those. Wonder Woman 3 is officially in the works with Patty Jenkins once again. Star Wars Rebels producer joins High Republic spin-off The Acolyte. So they added as well people to help Hedlund with the series, to create the series. Should be fun. Michael B. Jordan is going to direct and star in Creed 3. He's going to direct it. That's cool. I think it's directorial debut. Fun stuff. Falcon and the Winter Soldier cast leak teases a major Marvel Phase 4 team up. You know, I never read what this was, but I also don't have time. We're way, way past the marker on this one. This is a return, I guess, this week. It's a little longer this episode, people, just the way it is. We're back. We'll go back to our regular format next week. Clancy Brown joins the Dexter revival, and the Dexter revival is set to come out this year. It is already very close. And somewhere along the way, I missed that they casted America Chavez in Doctor Strange too. America Chavez is a big character from the comics that they officially are bringing into the MCU. You're going to see a lot of, like, they're seriously setting up a Young Avengers and a regular Avengers all at the same time here. That's what it looks like. When we get to another regular Avengers movie, I'm not sure. Robert Downey Jr. reportedly up for significant role in The Mandalorian Season 3. Could it be Grand Admiral Thrawn? Please do this. I could see it. And you're not going to, like, confuse anything. It's not going to be like, oh, that's Iron Man. I can't watch this. He's got blue skin and red eyes. And Downey Jr. is an amazing actor. I'm down for it. I want to see it. This was this week, our latest news. Oh, the sirens are unbearable sometimes. If there's barely any cars on the road, do you even need the siren? Yeah, they do. Okay. Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie has added the Loki showrunner to write and, I guess, direct the film. We still don't know what it is. We still don't know what Feige's Star Wars movie is. We still are not 100% sure what Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is, but it's been very, very speculated at this point that his film will be a Dawn of the Jedi era Star Wars film, like way back, like 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga, when the Jedi didn't even have lightsabers yet. I read the books and the comics. That's some interesting stuff. You want Star Wars to be fresh? That's as fresh as it gets. It's not even like what you're used to seeing. Anyway, that is pretty much our news of the week. Loki 2 is already being planned before Loki Season 1 even comes out. Loki Season 2 is in the works. And Marvel's Moon Knight officially hired writers and directors to showrun the show. It's all good, man. This year might, assuming things can really, it should be an awesome fucking year in cinema and TV. Can't wait for WandaVision. That's first to kick us off in 2021. It's cool. Mandalorian ended and it was like, fuck, I need something like this now. And then look, WandaVision's right around the corner. It was right around the corner. Here we go. Marvel's back. That's the big thing you can take away from all this right now. Marvel's back. So let's talk about Tenet, and now I'll talk about it very briefly. Because at the end of the day, I know it's a confusing film. It is. You got to watch it a few times. I kind of really got it the first time I watched it, but even I needed to see it again. And I'm not going to go through... Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to break it down for you and try to explain it. Because at the end of the day, I just want to talk about why it's a great film and why it feels good to watch and why I really enjoyed it. There's a line he says in the film. Our main character, played by John David Washington, he doesn't even have it. We don't even learn his name. He just goes by the protagonist, right? And at one point in the film, one of the characters says to him, "You are a protagonist, not the protagonist." But this film is about him realizing his purpose, and he is the protagonist. It's a cool concept, this movie, okay? What's happened happens. What's happened happens. Which is what does he say? What's happened happens. Which is an expression of faith. And he's like, faith? Call it whatever you want. What do you call it? Reality? This movie is like filled with like little things you gotta like keep picking up as you watch it over and over again. Like I picked up on things, and there was something I picked up on. I forgot to write it in here, right? Maybe I didn't. Let's see. Let's get to it. So real quick, does the structure of this film work? The structure doesn't just work. It is primarily based around the character development of multiple characters. Okay, so it 100% worked. Nolan utilized his central weird concept effectively. So this time around, this is what we got on the surface. It's about time inversion and saving the world. Okay, time inversion is his take on time travel. It's a different kind of time travel. It's not even time travel per se. It is and it isn't. It's called time inversion, and again, I said I wouldn't break it down, but it's as simple as time running in the opposite direction. And when you go in this machine and you're inverted, you can just you keep going when you're going forward, but you're going backwards in time. So you can go as far back as you want and then come back through the machine, no longer inverted, but now you're in that time that you came back in. Okay? That's let me leave you with that, and then go watch it again and see if that helps a little bit. Because sometimes people were confused with like, how come they don't need to wear a mask now? And what are we in right now? What time are we in right now? That kind of helps. Okay, if you think of that, going in the machine in one point in time, going in it in another point in time. Just think about it. Yeah, so I mean, it worked. So his concept alone allows for a lot of twists and turns. So right off the bat, there are plenty of epic moments. Like we get a lot of really great callbacks and parallels that just make the movie work even better, especially when you understand it. I should mention all of them, but my favorite one, besides the obvious one between our two main characters, right, played by John David Washington and Robert Pattinson. There's an obvious one between them, protagonist and Neil. It's funny, we get his name. His name's Neil, but we don't get our main character's name. But he is the main character. Main character is that's the word for main character. Protagonist. We don't need to know his name. It's cool. It's a cool idea what he went with here. And the more I watch this movie, the more I'll realize why he made that decision. Other little things that make me realize, oh, okay, I see. This is why that's cool. That makes sense. You know, that's fun. There's always reasons to watch Nolan's films a bunch and just pick up on all the little stuff you missed, because that's what his movies are all about. Is the fact that you revisit them and pick up on new things. Yeah, my favorite one was not about them. You know, the obvious one is the obvious one. My favorite parallel and callback moment was actually with our female lead, Kat. Right? It's the most emotionally impactful. She tells a story. Don't forget spoilers, okay? She tells a story about how she saw a woman who looked free as a bird jumping from her husband's ship. A lover of his, she thought, right? She tells this story in the beginning of the movie. And how she was jealous. Not of being with her husband, this woman, but of how free she was. She was jealous of the freedom. This movie, for her, the story is about breaking free, getting away from him, right? Being truly free of this monster that she's trapped with. And then, and of course, in the end, we learn that it was her all along, that woman jumping off the ship. She was in the same moment in time, two of her were in the same moment in time. She saw herself jump off the boat. What a fucking awesome, that was my favorite one. Favorite parallel moment. Yeah. There's a bunch, though. The biggest ones were with Neil, learning about who he really is. We have an intense opening with the key visual motif of Neil's keychain, right, on his bag. But the inciting action of this film is actually when our protagonist gets his mission, right? So he gets his mission by his CIA guy, and then from there the movie kicks off. The true start of the film is when he meets Neil for the first time, because in the end, this story ends up being about their relationship, like, quite a lot. a relationship that saves the world apparently many times. The reversal is when Kat is shot with an inverted bullet because there's an unraveling from there. There's like a rush. All of a sudden, boom, they're in a rush to get things. They have to like hurry up. So it's a clear unraveling. That's the reversal, the midpoint. She's shot with an inverted bullet, which is not good. They tell us early in the film that's not good. You don't want to be shot with an inverted bullet. And then from there, they have to think of some way to save her and then stop all this shit from happening. So yeah, clear reversal. Yeah, the pace, it just gets kicked into a higher gear. The film is filled with set pieces, as many Nolan films are. So structurally, they kind of break up the film into acts. There might even be more than 3 acts if you look at it that way, broken up into these set pieces. If there is a down and out, it's like a down and out moment for the characters. It's hard to find, but maybe it was when Kat shoots Sator, our villain, our antagonist, because that moment puts everything else in doubt for a second. But then the main characters get it done, and there's no problems. Um, the climax is obvious, right? It's winning the day. But really, the climax is learning the truth about Neil and our protagonist's relationship. And to take it a step further, this story becomes about our protagonist learning that he is the protagonist, right? It's about finding his place and purpose in all of this. So, like, once again, Nolan film. On the surface, it's about some crazy thing. Time inversion, saving the world, okay. But underneath, this film's about friendship, it's about freedom, and it's about purpose. And it's a great film. I'll give you my rating in a second. Overall, my opinion of the story, it feels like a Nolan film right from the second we open. It actually gave me a Dark Knight Rises vibes when they're in the opera house and that whole opening sequence, right? First introduced to our main character, and that visual and narrative nod that comes back around in the end. There's no denying that it is a Nolan film. The concept alone and appearance from Michael Caine, everything you love about Nolan films is all apparent in this movie. Nolan always takes a central idea to carry the film, but every film has a strong underlying theme or idea that the story is really about. And like I said, in the end, I think this one really is about friendship. It's not the underlying idea I saw coming either. That's what made it so great. I did not see this movie really being about, like, well, who is Neil and what is this whole thing? What is the purpose of all this? So I guess in a way, it's actually you. I know this is going to be crazy to maybe you didn't even pick up on this, but Neil died in this movie. Pattinson, his character died. He took that bullet. He actually took that bullet. But it was in a different moment in time, so that when we see him at the end of the movie, he's going in an opposite direction. He's still going backwards, I think. Right? Is he going backwards? Yeah, he's going backwards, and the protagonist is going forwards. Yeah. Think about it. So Neil, he's been coming backwards for a while. And he comes back to this moment before the protagonist was even involved in all this stuff. But we find out the protagonist has been involved just as long. In fact, John David Washington's character recruited Neil in the regular moving forward time. It's very complex, but it actually makes sense when you think about it. Just keep thinking about it. So his inverted death, right? He died. He died in the main time, and so going forward, that Neil is gone. And the Neil that John David Washington recruits, he hasn't even met yet. And then the Neil that's alive is going to go back into the machine and keep going backwards. Or he's aware that his death is, I think it was a sacrificial thing. He says, for me, it's going to be the end of a beautiful friendship, but for you, it's just starting. Yeah, it's really, really powerful stuff. And I'm still a little. You see how I'm still a little confused, but I was still like, how can I be confused but so impacted by it? Because that's Nolan, dude. I'll keep watching it, and I'll start to get it even more and more and more. You should all do the same thing. I think most of all, you can't deny this is confusing, but I actually was less confused in my first watch than when I saw Inception for the first time. But I was also younger, so Inception is an easier film to understand. It just is. Um, you have to watch this one again, just like Memento and Inception. But I understand what was going on, and the big plot points were all very clear, very effective. I was catching some of the twists, which, as a writer, I love to do before they were revealed to me. So, like, I was picking up on things that I knew he was gonna, especially like the the bag, the Neil's tag kind of thing. I was kind of, and her jumping off the boat. I saw some things kind of coming. I love to do too when I'm watching. But I was fooled a lot too. I was fooled plenty, and that's delightful. You want to be surprised. Real quick, talk about the performance and. I can't talk. I'm trying to like rush it. I shouldn't rush it, right? I know I'm way over. It's like 40 minutes here, 45. The performances here were great. John David Washington and Pattinson, their duo, their dynamic was awesome. Um, I'm sure Denzel Washington is proud of his son for this role because it's really, really great. But Pattinson and Washington together is what makes the film. Elizabeth Debicki, fantastic. Bragna was one hell of a prick of a villain, seriously. But I thoroughly enjoy watching Pattinson now, too. Pattinson is, like, continuing to get me hyped for his Batman. I can't wait to see how he tackles Batman, seriously. Yeah. Yeah. Other little things here, I guess. I was a little let down when I saw that Hans Zimmer didn't score this, because he usually scores every one of Nolan's films. But in the end, it doesn't matter, because whoever replaced him for this one did an amazing job filling those large shoes. I mean, he brought his own perspective to a Nolan movie. The score of this movie is really, really fantastic. It's a great score. All right, so yeah, overall, let's talk about what did I rate this one? It's as good as some of Nolan's. Was it as good? I think it's probably at the bottom of the list, but that's the thing. Like someone like Nolan or Tarantino, like even their worst film is great. That's where we're at here. It's at the bottom of his list, but it's still a great movie. I'll understand if people didn't like this one, but I really did. I actually really, really did. It was a great movie. I give it an 8.6 out of 10. Great. And I'll leave it at that. I'm also like trying to remember if there's other things I wanted to talk about. It's been fucking weeks, people. There's just things I want to, but I can't remember in the moment, you know? But yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm so busy, but I love doing this, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I got a list. I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna talk some movies. There's some movies worth talking about. But I had to start with Tenet for obvious reasons. Let's do our fun fact of the week. Let's keep it all Nolan themed, if that helps you too. With the quote. But did you know that in the 2014 Christopher Nolan film Interstellar, Anne Hathaway actually got hypothermia while filming the ice planet scenes? She said that everyone was in pain at one point or another during the shooting, but that she was in specific pain. Because they were playing around with a lot of different elements, water, ice, and at one point she seriously was in pain to the point where she couldn't feel her toes. She turned to the first assistant director and said, "I don't know what the symptoms of hypothermia are, but I feel these things right now." And the AD said, "Wait, what, now?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then the AD ran over to Chris Nolan and he was like, "Okay, all right, everybody, quick, let's shoot this thing. Let's go. Literally, Anne shot one of these scenes, at least one of these scenes, with fucking hypothermia. So if it looks like she's cold at any point during that, it's probably because she actually was really cold. as cold as you can get. Just another actor really sacrificing for her work. I love it. Question of the week this week. I'm not going to follow up on last week. But we're back here. Let's do all of our fun segments. I'm not, we left it with the holiday marathon, right? That was straightforward. What do you like to watch at the holidays? We don't need to follow up on that. We'll start fresh. And like I said, let's keep it all Nolan, right? So what is your favorite Christopher Nolan film? Of all the films, what is your favorite one? And it's so hard to pick, right? Most people are going to be like Inception or The Dark Knight, and I can't. It's so. I picked The Dark Knight because, it's just, but it's so I can't even like put that above Inception, really. Like, what is Nolan's masterpiece? That's really the question. In your opinion, what is Nolan's masterpiece? And I guess we'll see what other people think too of what their favorite one was next week when we follow up. Movie quote of the week. Again, Nolan themed if it helps you. I mean, this has got to be easy, right? She had locked something away. Something deep inside. A truth that she had once known but chose to forget. I knew something was wrong with her. She just wouldn't admit it. Eventually, she told me the truth. She was possessed by an idea. This one simple little idea that would change everything. That her world wasn't real. That she had to wake up to come back to reality, that in order to get back home, we had to kill ourselves. Name that movie. Because it's so fucking obvious. Okay, that's our episode this week. We went way over, but it's a welcome back episode, and it's Tenet, and it's 2021, and yeah, good episode. I'm happy with it. I hope you are. Real quick, I'll do caught my attention. What caught my attention while I was away? There was a lot of alien shit, dude. Like, what was the deal with all the alien stuff? Everybody just kept coming out with, oh, there's aliens that the government's not telling. There's a galactic federation of aliens that they refuse to allow Earth to join it, or some shit like that, or what? Then like there was like a spaceship that was clearly a spaceship that passed by. Like, it just, I don't know. Is 2021 finally the year of aliens? If it is, can we just get it over with already? All right, guys. Good shit. Good stuff. I'll see you guys next week, and I'll do Wonder Woman 1984. It's an obvious one. It's on HBO Max. There's gonna be a bunch of stuff to talk about this year, so let's get pumped. All right. Always keep it real. Keep pushing forward. Keep your just keep it going. We're gonna get through, and keep watching fun stuff. It helps. All right. Have a cinematic week, and have another cinematic week after that. All right. Peace, everybody.